You hear that, Samson? Beautiful.
Getting started, you want to grab yourself some heavier weight fabric. We're going to be using upholstery fabric and canvas. I recommend using canvas or twill to start. And I recommend grabbing about a yard. And next you'll need 4 yards of 1.5 inch webbing. You'll need 4 1.5 inch lobster swivel clips, 2 1.5 inch strap adjusters, and 4 1 inch D-rings. 2 zippers, 1 22 inch and 1 9 inch. And lastly, you need your pattern, and this pattern is available at properfitclothing.com. Super easy to use, just download it, print it, and you're ready to go. And the links for all the supplies will be in the description, so definitely go check that out. Getting started, go ahead and trace and cut out your pattern. We're gonna be doing the front pocket in canvas and the main bag in the upholstery fabric. Just make sure you cut out 2 of the main panels and 2 of each of the zipper panels. Grab your 9-inch zipper, and it doesn't matter, it can be a little bit longer, and also your pocket zipper panels. Place your pocket zipper panel right side in the center of that zipper, pin it on, and sew all the way down that edge. Fold the zipper panel flat and top stitch all the way across. Now we're gonna do the exact same thing to the other zipper panel, and make sure that you have it lined up exactly with the first zipper panel. Once you have it sewn on, go ahead, fold it flat, and do a top stitch. Next, we're going to take the side pocket panel and place the right side of the zipper panel to the right side of the side pocket panel, line it up exactly, and sew across. Once you have that sewn on, you can go ahead and snip that zipper end off. With the other side of the side panel, we're going to do the same thing, but make sure that zipper train is all the way on the inside of that panel before you start sewing. And again, you can go ahead and trim those zipper ends off. So we're going to be using a double fold bias tape binder to clean up those edges. And you can definitely get these for domestic sewing machines too. We're going to have links in the description. So go ahead and cut out long pieces of bias tape that are the right measurements to the width of your binder. The other option is to use a bias tape making kit. And this is where you pretty much just make your own bias tape. And it comes with a presser foot that helps you attach the bias tape to your garment. And it's pretty simple to use. All you have to do is cut a strip, feed it through, and iron it. And after that, it works the same as the bias tape. You just fold it over and sew it on, or you use that attachment. So whatever method you decide to do, go ahead and bias tape those ends. When you have those ends covered, go ahead and fold them towards the inside and top stitch all the way across. And repeat this process for the other side. Grab the side panel you just made, mark the centers on both the zipper panel and the side panel, and take your main pocket panel and mark the centers. Place those centers together and pin all the way around the outside.
I heard then, it was like the Lord spoke that through me then. Oh, there it is.
As you can see, there's a stitch here. I shortened the side panel, and the pattern you're going to be getting is going to be up to date. This is a pattern I made before I actually finalized it. Next, you want to go ahead and sew all the way around that outside edge. Definitely take your time in this step. It's a little tricky going around those corners for the first time, but a few times through, you'll totally get the hang of it and it'll become easy. And once you have it sewn, go ahead and pop those corners out. Make sure that they're all together and looking good before you move on to the next step. And I highly recommend bias taping around the outside edge just like we did those sides. It's going to add strength and make it look really nice on the inside. Moving on, we're going to grab our main zipper panel and our 22-inch zipper, place the right sides together just like we did the pocket panel, pin it together and sew across that edge. Go ahead, flip it over flat and top stitch it just like we did the pocket panel.
Get up right now. There it is again, so strong.
Line up the other zipper panel exactly with the first zipper panel, stitch it on, and top stitch.
Oh yes. Set that man that. Reaching out to hurting people. Hallelujah.
Grab your main side panel, line the right sides up just like we did the pocket panel, and sew across. Do the same for the other side and make sure that zipper train is moved towards the inside of the panel. I recommend adding the bias tape on, but if you don't have it or don't want to do it, we're going to show you how to do it without it. So fold that seam towards the inside and just stitch across. And go ahead and do this for both sides. It's not going to look as nice, but you can totally get away with not using bias tape if you don't want to. Now we're going to be attaching the pocket to the main panel. So go ahead and grab your pocket panel and trace right at the top of it. And this is where you're going to line the top of that pocket and flip it over with the right sides touching the right side of the main panel and pin it into position. And what you're going to do is sew straight across that back zipper panel. Flip it down and make sure that it's lined up on both sides. Grab your main side panel, just like before on the pocket panel, line up the centers, pin it all the way around. And when you're sewing around that bottom edge, make sure that you keep the pocket in that seam. Then starting at the top, stitch all the way around that outside edge. And for this one, I like to stop halfway through, flip it around, and sew the other way from that top. Pop the right sides out and make sure that everything is lined up and sewn together. Cut 4 1.5 strips of your webbing. Take that webbing and place it through the center of your D-ring. Line it up on both sides, and what you're going to do is sew it on to 4 of the corners. Position it right in that top corner and sew as close as you can to the edge. And just make sure that you have the top and bottoms lined up. Grab your main panel and your back panel, line up the centers, and pin around the outside. Before you start pinning, make sure that you have the zipper up so that way it's easy to flip right side out.
Every toast with a song.
And once you have it all pinned on, go ahead and sew around the entire outside edge. And again, I highly recommend bias taping around both of these inside edges to give it more strength and a better look on the inside. Go ahead and flip the right side out and make sure you didn't miss any areas. Now go ahead and cut 2 40-inch strips of your webbing. place one of your lobster swivels on that edge, roll that inside edge over twice so that way you have a nice clean edge, and stitch across.
At last, 'tis better to have loved and lost. Captain John Le Carre never.
Grab your strap adjuster and on the other end, feed it through back and forth, just a little ways down, then go ahead and grab your other clip, feed it through, round it around, and then you're gonna feed the end of that strap back through the strap adjuster.
2 1 4 7 6 Charlie 3 2 7 8 9 7 7 7 6 4 3 Tango 7 3 2 Victor 7 3 1 1 7 8 8 8 7 3.
And to keep that from sliding out, go ahead and roll that end over twice and stitch across.
When I have plucked,
Then go ahead and repeat this process for the other strap.
longing still for that which longer nurseth the disease. In faith
And these clips are super easy to use and add a great look to your bag.
to a summer's day, when I have plucked the rose, plucked the rose. Longing
Next, we're going to show you 2 different zipper pulls you can make. The first one is using parachute cord, feeding it through your zipper, tying it off with a knot, and clipping the ends.
Ere thee to a summer's day, 'tis better to have loved.
And the second is actually using zipper pulls bought online, and both of these options are available in the description below. And that will complete your bag. Thank you so much for watching. Be sure to like, subscribe, comment, let us know what you think. We're going to keep the videos coming at you, so we'll see you next time.
Every unbroken sentence.